Do we have access to a map that could help us navigate the highs and lows that life has to offer? Not only could an ancient Hermetic secret be the key to understanding the fluctuations that govern our lives, but it could also be the key to mastering those fluctuations. Over the course of today, we will investigate the principle of rhythm, which is a Hermetic truth that promises a more profound comprehension of life cycles. We will investigate the ways in which the fate of stars and civilizations is similar in terms of rhythm, and we will also investigate how, by mastering this rhythm, we can achieve a new level of equilibrium and purpose. As we explore the influence of this principle from the cosmos to the core of the human experience, we will reveal how you can apply this age-old wisdom to transform your reality. We invite you to join us in this exploration. A constant swing, an oscillation similar to that of a pendulum, alternating between moments of advancement and retreat, is what the principle of rhythm encompasses. This is the reality that everything is governed by an inconsistent rhythm. The principle of polarity demonstrates that this pattern is a universal dance between elements that are diametrically opposed to one another. This rhythmic dance is performed all throughout the universe, in the stars, in beings, in the tides of the ocean, and in the energy and substance of everything that is tangible and intangible. As it permeates the existence of all entities and the cycles of human thought, it manifests itself in the beginning and end of the universe, in the advancement and fall of civilizations, and in the rise and fall of civilizations. Hermetic scholars are aware of the range of situations in which the principle can be applied and devise strategies to lessen the impact it has on themselves. They make use of a concept that is commonly referred to as the mental law of neutralization, not with the intention of rendering this principle invalid, but rather to acquire the ability to navigate and effectively utilize its influence to their benefit. Rather than merely being observers, they find themselves taking on the role of conductors of this universal law. Individuals who have attained a certain level of self-mastery frequently engage in this practice in a subconscious manner. However, the Hermetic guide engages in this practice with full awareness, employing their willfulness on purpose. Because of this, they are able to achieve a level of mental equilibrium and steadiness that is so elusive that it seems almost mythical to those who are constantly being thrown back and forth by the rhythmic forces of life. The principle of polarity is inextricably linked to the principle of rhythm due to their inherent connection. Specifically, it functions within the spectrum that is characterized by the polarity poles. On the other hand, the notion that this rhythmic movement always reaches its heights is a fallacy that needs to be corrected. Instead, the movement that is rhythmic takes place in the direction of one pole and then the other within a spectrum of variation. There is a pattern of action and reaction that can be seen spread out across the cosmos. This pattern includes advancing and retreating, rising and falling. Because of this, everything from the tiniest particles to the most massive spirals of galaxies is affected. There is a demonstration of this principle of rhythm in every entity, from the most subtle energy to the highest spirit. There is a continuous cycle of expansion and contraction, which is comparable to the cosmic breath described in Brahmanic philosophy. This cycle occurs when spirit is considered to be the starting point, which is the source of everything. When universes are created, they descend to the most dense point of materiality, only to turn around and head in the opposite direction, towards the ethereal. The same cycle of life, death, and rebirth applies to all celestial bodies and physical phenomena, just as it does to stars and constellations. During the course of a never-ending cosmic dance, planets are born, undergo evolution, and eventually die, only to be reborn again. This unceasing cycle is also reflected in all known structures and forms, from living organisms undergoing the journey of birth, growth, and death, to social movements, philosophical innovations, belief systems, cultural practices, political regimes, and entire civilizations that rise, flourish, and inevitably decline. Similarly, on a microscopic scale, Particles such as electrons, atoms, and molecules are in a state of constant vibratory motion, spinning in their own cycles that have been predetermined. The notion of absolute inertia is an illusion. Even things that appear to be at rest are, in fact, moving and pulsating in time with the universal rhythm. This principle is all-encompassing and permeates all planes of existence. It serves as a motivating force in every facet of human existence. The rhythmic oscillation of the universe does not make any exceptions. It is constantly moving between extremes in every sphere of action on a continuous basis. The principle of rhythm is a law that governs the tangible, and contemporary science acknowledges that it is a constant in material phenomena. Hermeticism adherents, on the other hand, extend this understanding to encompass the mental and emotional realms of human beings, recognizing the ways in which it influences the flow of emotions, mental states, and the frequently unsettling variations that we experience on the inside. Through research and practical application, Hermetic practitioners have uncovered methods of transmutation that can help mitigate some of the more extreme fluctuations that are imposed by this principle. As one considers their own life, they are able to recognize the ways in which rhythm has an impact on our existence. Whenever there is a period of great enthusiasm, it is frequently followed by phases of discouragement. Courage appears to give way to fear at times. Although this pattern of alternating states is a common occurrence in the lives of many people, very few people have an understanding of the underlying forces that are responsible for these psychological variations. By gaining an understanding of how the principle of rhythm works, we are able to gain the ability to control these fluctuations in feelings, which ultimately results in a greater sense of self-awareness and the capacity to avoid being carried away by these emotional waves. Will emerges as a force that is capable of mastering the conscious manifestations of this principle. This is not to destroy it, which is impossible. Rather, it is to rise above the effects these manifestations have. The wise men of Hermeticism came to the realization that, despite the fact that the principle of rhythm was always present in mental phenomena, there were two levels of mental manifestation, a lower and a higher level. As a result of having this information, they were able to ascend to a higher level, thereby evading the rhythmic fluctuations that were present in the lower level. Furthermore, this indicated that variations took place within a subconscious realm without causing any disruption to the conscious mind. The technique that they used was called the law of neutralization, and it was a technique that was used to elevate the self above the fluctuations of the unconscious mental plane. This was done in order to ensure that consciousness remained unaffected, and as a result was not affected by negative oscillation.